I want you to quickly watch this video and I will speak after that.
Is there any young girl or woman that is interested in marrying an autistic person? The general overseer of OPM Church is interested to get this young man married, and there are going to be benefits attached. If you are a lady that thinks you can get married to him, you'll be put on a lifetime monthly salary, and you also get a lifetime accommodation. And let me bring the camera close, so let us hear from Daddy G on himself. Come close. So sir, you said you want to get this young man married, and he has a condition, a health condition that doesn't even allow him to talk. So why do you want to get him married?
Why I'm trying to get him married is because of the sympathy and pity I have on him. Because right now he doesn't even know what is going on with him. You know, as he's growing and growing, there is this uncontrollable sexual urge happening to him. He stays, he needs to masturbate. I fear this, let him not, let him not go to a state that he will just maybe hijack a child and forcefully, do something. So it is out of that sympathy. Okay, let me marry him out. I'll pay the bride price, for the person.
Yeah.
The person will receive accommodation,
In an estate.
Yes, in an estate, and we receiving monthly salary for life.
For life.
Because right now he doesn't have a father, he doesn't have a mother. He was just dumped at my gate, and after he was dumped, I invited the police. Police came, carried him to the motherless baby home that is owned by the government, but they rejected him.
Wow.
They rejected him. So now the police now returned it back to me. So I have no choice than to take care of. I can't throw it out on the street. So I have to start taking care of him all this while. But now he's growing. He's going to school. He's growing. But this uncontrollable sexual order that is going on with him is something that is the cause of worry. And that is why I want to instead of him, a lady carry him. No, we'll pay the bride price. It doesn't matter the age of the lady. Whether it's a young lady, old lady, grandmother, it doesn't matter. As long as you just because I have so much sympathy. This uncontrollable sexual urge.
Even when they are beating him too.
Even when they beat him, because I got some of the boys here to be beating. First, I got to land up beating him, but that one couldn't handle it. So I have to tell some of the grown-up boys here. But when they start touching him, the next thing, the whole thing will just rise up. So it's a big. I just pity him because he doesn't know what is going on with his system. So with that, sometimes he just stay like this and begin to masturbate. And I bleed in my heart. This guy is going through a lot of psychological, emotional trauma. So that is why I decided for it not to be legal, pay the bride price, and the person will accommodate. We'll be going there to inspect. That's why I'm saying in one of the estates. We'll be coming there to inspect to make sure that he is not maltreated or it's not, I was thinking of getting, because I have other autistic children stay with me. I wanted to match autistic, but they will give birth to autism. So to prevent the spread of autism, it's better to get a normal person and an autistic person.
Okay.
So that if they decide to have children, the children are still under the church care. But if they don't want to have children, that's no problem. But at least for his state of mind to be okay.
Okay, so if you are interested, the right thing to do is to visit OPM Church headquarters here in Port Harcourt City, Rivers State, Nigeria, and ask of the welfare office, the head of the welfare. So the head of the welfare is going to attend to you. Tell her you came to show interest in getting married to him. Now, sir, the only worry I have right now is if they have a child. I wonder what the health status of that child is going to be like.
I've made some inquiries.
Okay.
They will not affect the health. The children will not be autistic. The only way the children will be autistic is when autism marries autism.
Okay.
Then they'll give back to autism.
Okay.
But when a normal person marries autism, they'll give back to normal children.
Okay.
Let me start with the last statement of the OPM pastor. He said he has made his research and he was informed that when an autistic partner marries a neurotypical person, or you call them a non-autistic person, that they will not have autistic child. I want to let you know that that statement is false. That is not correct. And before I talk more on that, I'm going to talk more about autism spectrum disorder so that you have more knowledge about what autism is. And I believe at the end of this video, you will be more equipped with the knowledge to make an informed decision if you wish to marry this gentleman. I will make this video short. So I will tell you the key fact about autism spectrum disorder now. Sometimes you may hear me say ASD. It's simply autism spectrum disorder. Okay, so what is ASD? ASD is a neurodevelopmental condition that affects how a person communicates, how that person interacts socially, how the person learns and behaves. It is a spectrum. People can have different strengths and support needs, from minimal need to substantial daily support. Signs of autism may appear in early childhood, although some people are diagnosed later in life. Let's talk about causes of autism. The truth is, there is no single cause. No identified cause is attributed to autism. Research supports a combination of genetic influences and environmental or biological factors. If we want to talk about the prevalence or how common is autism in the United States, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention surveillance data estimate about 1 in every 31 8-year-old children were identified with ASD. That was year 2022 data. Now, let's go back to the statement of the OPM pastor. And I'm going to ask this question. Can an autistic person married to a non-autistic or a neurotypical person have an autistic child? Yes. The answer is yes. I know you want to know why. ASD or autistic spectrum disorder tends to run in families, but the inheritance pattern is usually not simple. It is often many genes plus other factors, which simply means more of genetic and environmental or some other factor. So people often inherit increased likelihood, but not a guaranteed outcome. Family studies shows higher likelihood among close relatives. For example, when one child in a family has ASD, later born siblings had an estimated 20.2% recurrence rate in a large baby siblings consortium study. Even more distant family history increases likelihood. So, the National Institute of Mental Health reported approximately 3 to 5% ASD likelihood for children whose parent has a sibling with ASD, which simply means an aunt or uncle with ASD, compared with a lower general population rate cited in that report. So all the grammar have been speaking in plain language. An autistic parent can have an autistic child, but it is not certain. Many autistic adults have non-autistic children. So the truth is there's no absolute no and there's no absolute yes. The exact likelihood varies by factors like family history, whether a known genetic syndrome is involved, and other health or developmental factors. So in the case of this young man, let me talk about interventions and services that are needed for an autistic child. Marriage is not a way to treat an autistic person. Individuals with ASD may be referred to healthcare and service professionals who provide specialized support, such as behavioral care or behavioral support, psychological, educational, occupational, physical, or speech language therapy. These services are often structured and intensive, and they may actively include caregivers. And part of the caregivers may be siblings and other family members. They will be involved in the intervention plan. And this program may help them to learn social, communication, and language skills. It may also help them to manage behaviors that interfere with daily functioning and well-being. The program may help them to increase or build on strength. It may help them learn life skills for living independently without relying on people. The program will help them to find housing, educational support, and job coaching or training. And sometimes some of them might need medication and they need to see a healthcare provider who may prescribe medication to treat specific symptoms such as aggression, anxiety and depression, attention, hyperactivity, irritability, repetitive behavior, or self-injurious behaviors. These are the help that an autistic person needs, not marriage. Marriage is not the solution to treat autism. Please take this person to see a specialist who offers behavioral care. I believe this video has provided some information to you about autism, what causes it, and how it is managed. Okay? And this way, you can then make your decision as a lady if you are interested in marrying this gentleman. Okay? It is not easy. It's a spectrum of symptoms, spectrum of behavior, spectrum of needs. And those needs cannot be met by only one person. People are involved. Care team are involved. A lot of programs need to be put in place to manage those behavior. Marriage is not the solution to manage autism. Please take this young man to appropriate facility. Thank you so much. Check my comment section to see verifiable sources for my information as well. Please do follow my YouTube channel and I'll be talking more on topics like this. Thank you.